And how are you feeling?
Not bad at all. That you here.
Good to hear.
And before we dive in the industry that we in, and we're recording on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. In the industry that we in, the Saturday, and we're in the hospitality. On Saturdays is your icing to the cake.
Right.
And this is night. So in order for you to be here with me, you had to cancel some money to come and sit with me. I really appreciate that. Okay. I appreciate that. All right?
Yeah.
So we about to dig in. Where you from, Moni, and how you got there?
It's Monet.
Okay. Monet. Okay, I like that. Correction.
Monet. Mm-hmm. And I am from, I live in Long Island right now, but I'm from Queens.
You're from Queens. Okay. Mm-hmm. How you got to Queens?
I ascended upon the star and landed on Earth.
Oh.
And here I am.
Okay. Feeling that. So where did you go to school? Did you go to school in Queens?
Yeah, I went to school in Jamaica, Queens. Jamaica High School.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I know a couple people that went through there. I know a couple of legends that ran through there.
Right.
Probably a little before your time. You know, you're a little younger than me. But
you know.
Yeah, a couple of names. I'm not going to mention. They classics. Though. Did you go to college, Moni?
I did. I went to BMCC.
Okay. What'd you study?
Business management.
Ah.
Right.
Okay. I'm my field. Okay. Yeah, I'm a business type of guy.
Always wanted to be a boss.
Okay, yeah. That's what I dreamed of. But I studied under great bosses.
Right.
You know, I like to say that I'm an excellent general because I'm a great soldier.
Sounds good.
Great soldier. You know what I'm saying? I fight for the cause. I don't have no problem. I got a good leader in front of me. I don't mind going to bat for him.
That's what's up.
That's why when I lead my team, I try to show by example.
Right.
But Moni, let me tell you what inspired me. Why I'm inspired to in this hospitality business. In the industry that we in, and we major in corporate catering, weddings, bar mitzvahs, high-end birthday parties. I met you on an app. Like it was a hospitality app. And I remember coming to this high-end country club on yacht day. And I remember seeing your numbers as an independent contractor. And I was like, wow.
And I was part-time at that time.
Yeah, I was like, wow, her numbers is amazing. You can really make this type of money. I was impressed. And it inspired me. Like, what inspired you to get into this business?
I actually was just taking a break from my regular job.
Which was?
I'm a transportation supervisor for the school district. I was doing that for a long time. And I was in between districts. And so at the time, like, actually a lot was going on. My mom had passed.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And I kind of isolated. I was isolated from a lot of things, a lot of friends, a lot of people who I rocked with for years. Felt a lot of betrayal going on. And I just wanted to find something different to do in the meantime. And one of my good friends, Samantha, who works with us, you know.
Right, well. I do. Great person. I think she's pursuing her acting career most of the time.
Absolutely. Actually, we both act together.
Oh, right? Okay.
So she was introduced to this by another worker. His name is David. A bartender, really fancy guy, got a lot of swag. He put us both on at the same time, and it was so funny because, like, my friends, like the different, because they have different categories we can work in, doing line cook
and so many different things you could be into.
I'm not known to be a person who is. I'm very hospitable,
right?
But I'm not a person who's known to be like doing kitchen work, or I don't really cook like that,
right.
So it was kind of like a joke to my friends when they found out that, my first gigs were line cooks and prep cooks, and they thought it was a big joke,
right.
But I look good in the outfit.
Look, the diva that you are, the diva that you are.
Everything was just like, I want to do this. I see it. I want to do it. Like, it's not real. It wasn't real life to me. That's what I felt like.
Okay.
It was just like another acting gig, if anything. And I know I could play the part. As a matter of fact, the whole way that I, like, okay, let me not jump too far ahead, but I will go back to that.
Okay.
I like I said, David put us on, and once we got on the app, it was a guy on the app. I don't know if he's still on there. He went by the name of King J. He hooked me up with my first line cook gig. He wanted to like back then you could just transfer gigs. He gave me my first line cook gig. I'm not really too good in the kitchen. However, back then you could just put down anything.
You could just put down anything. I got fortunate that way too.
Right.
Yeah.
He was like, he told me where I could go get my jacket, my chef coat and everything.
Right.
And once the opportunity was open, it was on and popping. Funny thing is, me and Samantha, we used to set up the app like we were on the WhatsApp chat. We literally used to fall asleep with our fingers like
ready
with the phone next to us.
So it became like a grand hustle.
Right.
To the people that don't, it's like just think Uber in a way, right? It's like you can be able to see all of these jobs all over the tri-state area and you can grab them and then go in. So it was like a major hustle. But did you find the real bag? Was the line cook, or do you find the real bag inside those country clubs? Because that's where I met you at, in the country clubs where the numbers was being produced at.
I think that the real bag is wherever you go and you succeed. Like the whole thing is you have to have talent, but your personality can get you far.
I think that's the truth.
Right?
I think it's true because I don't know how to cook or anything.
Right.
I had no prep cook or nothing. I told one story one time that I brought the knife from my house to the job because but it was the personality that got me over.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying? The personality got me over. But you and Ivory showed me there was money to be made. Right. You know what I'm saying? People wasn't but it was really in your hustle. Right, I seen people they was just barely surviving, but some people that was really doing numbers that I was like, wow, I can do this.
It's
right?
Kind of you just gotta show up and show out. You don't have to be the best at the in particular job. Like you don't have to be the best line cook or the best bartender.
Right.
You just gotta be the best you.
Right.
And the best you can get you wherever you need to
far.
So the doors will fly open for you. I really do think that your personality and the way you show up will take you places.
All right. So what are some of the good places that you like to work in New York City when you get these independent contracts?
I do like to work at the country club.
Right.
I didn't even know that country clubs exist in New York until I got on the app.
Right.
So I love the country club because it's the lifestyle that I admire. So I like to be around here. I don't really feel like I'm working. I'm just because technically I do work, but I socialize with the members.
Very much so. I see you, and you. Yeah. Some people force. I see some women at these country clubs. They force they trying too hard, and it turns the client off.
Right.
I see you. You blend right in. I think that comes from a texture of getting to know the people. Tell me about what's your technique?
I'm just comfortable around the people.
Right.
Because
so you're comfortable around money.
I'm comfortable around. I'm comfortable around money. Yeah, I'm comfortable around the lifestyle.
Okay,
and so if I wasn't working, I would be going to these places anyway.
Right.
So I might as well show up at work and get paid.
What is true? What is true?
And the people, they love to have conversations and they love to tell you as long as you can be on their level and talk about a lot of things,
right?
They'll open up to you. When they see me in these country clubs, they me and Ivy, they give us hugs.
Right,
and
I see that. I see that.
And I think we're all old friends.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. And you guys are an inspiration to me because you opened the window for me and you opened the door for me to show me that I can be number one, and I kind of really dominate in that space to be able to go and to open up my own company, a better staffing solution. Right. But that wouldn't have been possible if I didn't see someone already do it. Like they tell a story about someone never climbing Mount Everest. No one can ever do it. But then when one person did it, that others was able to do it. Right. They said people running the 1 minute mile, running it at a high speed. No one was able to do it. But then once one person was able to run that 1 minute mile at a high speed, other people was able to do it. Right. And that was the window that you girls opened up. You and Ivory opened up to me, was like, wow, these girls are really make this thing special. Right. And I really appreciate you for that, because that led to one thing and that led to another thing. And I really appreciate you, Diva. I really appreciate you guys. You. Right.
It's so funny. And I tell people about it. Like the way I got into doing the country clubs anyway, the night before, I booked the country club, but the day before I went, I was watching Lifetime television,
Uh-huh.
and the show came on about weird. This girl wanted to be a butler. She wanted to go to butler school.
Right,
It was her
right.
dream to be a butler,
Right.
to work in the castle.
Right.
And I was like, let me just watch what
Right.
they're doing. And the way she stood, the way she presented herself, her poise, how she handled
Right.
everything.
Right.
And the next day, I happened to go to one of the country clubs, and I went with another young lady who's on the app, and everything I took was from what I seen in the movie.
Wow. Wow.
So the way I my posture, the way I
Right.
stood up, the way I carried myself. And the funny thing is, I'm standing there and I see the other young lady. She's watching me, so she's imitating what I'm doing,
Wow.
knowing that I got it
From
from a
somewhere,
movie.
yeah,
And
you
I
got it from
tell them
TV.
all the time. I was
Right.
like, I got it from a movie. I'll see somebody. I'll do a gig. I'll see somebody. Maybe they're doing dishwashing. And they're like, why don't you come to the country club?
Right.
I'm good for seeing other people and trying
Bro,
to put people
inspired,
on. And
inspired.
my thing is, if I'm eating, there's room.
Come
at
on,
the
room to eat.
table.
There's room at the table.
For
These
me,
budgets are
there's
heavy.
room at the
These
table.
budgets are heavy. They have a heavy budget. Let me, with you, and I'm going to ask you this question because you have grown on this app platform, right? You're at the highest level. You're at the queen. Your numbers are great. You at the captain spot. There's no, without going into the corporate office, there's no level higher that you have. You're the captain. But I have to be honest, why are you the most hated on this app, on that platform, on that ecosystem? Why are so many people say so many negative things about you? Why is that? What do you think that's from?
I don't know, because I make myself so easy to love. You know?
Right.
But I don't know. People love to hate. Like,
Right.
they either hate you or they love you. I think a lot of people love me.
Uh-huh.
I think people who hate me maybe just inspired to be like me, or you know, people always want to know why her, why not me.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But other than that,
Because
I don't care.
I think it's a tough thing. Because I worked with you on some platforms where it's 200 people. I mean, it might be 1,000 people event, and you controlling 100 individuals. It's a lot of different personalities.
right?
You got somebody over there want to smoke a cigarette. You got over there somebody trying to hide to smoke
Right.
weed. You got them ducking and diving. It's hard to control and maintain. What is your secret when you dealing with, you trying to control 100 people at an event for 1,000 people, and you got 100, 200 employees that you're trying to make sure everything goes right, because
Right.
that client is reporting to you.
Right.
Your reputation is on the line. How do you deal with that?
So it's all fun and games until it's not. Like, I'm good with. I'm not. To me, I don't feel like I'm a micromanager, but I feel like there's always going to be time to have fun, and I love to have fun.
Right.
I did it before hospitality and my regular job outside of hospitality, because I've been doing management for like 22 years.
Okay.
So I've done it already. Everything can run smooth if everybody does their job, and then we could all have fun and have a good
Okay.
time together.
Okay.
But when it comes back to me from a client that something is falling short,
Right.
and I see that someone is not pulling their weight, and
Right.
because if you don't pull your weight, the whole team goes down.
Right.
And I'm good to jump in and help. Like,
Right.
people can't tell you that if they are on a shift with me and I happen to be the captain, that I'm just giving directives and I'm not doing the work, because you're only good as your leader.
team. Right.
So if I'm a bad leader, if I show up and I look like a bum,
Right.
or I don't know how to carry myself, that's already a bad call for my team.
Right.
It's going to be a poor reflection. So I'm always going to show up and do my best. You know,
I
I'm
got
going
you.
to come in, I'm going to look my best, I'm going to speak intelligently, and I'm going to represent my crew good. And I'm going to take up for my crew.
Right.
But in return, I need my crew to do the same thing for me.
Right.
Like, so we all could work together as a team.
Right.
Because if I look good, they look good. If they look good, I look good.
Well, it's true.
And if we look good together, then the client looks good in front of whoever they're trying to impress.
Right.
So it
Right.
has to be a team effort.
Okay.
And there's always going to be somebody who's going to try to get away with murder. And it's usually the people who I'm cool with.
That's true.
And I feel like it's a slap in the face, because I'm already cool with you. So
Right.
why are you taking advantage?
Right.
Like,
Right.
why would you try to go above and beyond to take advantage.
Right.
I don't like
but then
that.
maybe because they're comfortable with you, they feel that you should let
but
them get
people
away with
don't.
it.
Nah,
that they break should be 2 hours, not an hour break. It should be 2 hours since they're your friend. Do you see it coming between friendships when you're running these major events and you got your friends on these events?
Nah,
It's a lot of money on the line.
Nope. You know why? Because I feel like somebody who's really a friend is not going to put me in a situation that's going to mess it up for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So if you put me in a bad situation and you're not really looking out for me, you're a sabotager. Why would you want to sabotage me in the first place?
Well, sure.
So no, you're not a friend, and I don't have a problem with being stern, and I don't feel any type of way afterwards. We could still kiki later on, but if I need it done, then I need it done now.
Well, sure.
And I think I think maybe the problem is like when I say something, people know I mean business. I'm not a person that you have some captains who just want to be friends with people all the time. You can't be a friend all the time. You have to know when to mean business and get it done. And then we can all like socialize together afterwards. I'm a pro also, so I'm not going to have you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. Right? I'm not going to put you in a position where like you're going to have a problem. Someone recently, the client asked me to have someone to detail, to do a detail of a small detail, like to just wipe down a refrigerator.
Right.
And the person really had a problem with it. And like they made such a big commotion.
Right.
They involved other the client. They kept speaking ill with other pros.
Right.
And the client came to me and asked me to send the pro
home.
Now, I'm cool with the pro. And I asked the pro, I was like, if you're not feeling well, the client would like me to send you home. But I felt like she got a little snappy with me.
Right.
And if I'm telling you that the client wants you to go home, and you saying you're not going home, then I guess you're going to be working for free.
Wow.
Because
who's going to pay at that point?
Exactly. The client said, go home. Now, of course, they call up everybody and they tell everybody, oh, I'm tripping. But what would
you tell one side of the story.
But what would you like me to do?
Right.
Like,
right.
The whole thing is, you put me in a situation, you put yourself in a situation because you went complaining to the client.
Right.
And then the client wanted you to leave. And then now the client doesn't want you to return. But you're making it seem like it's my problem. Don't make my problem. Don't make your problem my problem.
So let me ask you about event. I did a couple where you was captaining. I come back to the app sometime because there's great money there. There's great opportunities there. It was a big summer event. I'm talking about maybe 5,000 to 10,000 people. I think your staff might have been 80 people. People came from all over for this event to work for you, under you. You had people from Philly, South Jersey, Baltimore, Maryland. You had people coming from everywhere, a lot of New Yorkers. It was the Pokemon event on the island.
Right.
We was all on that island. Yeah, we was all on that island working under you. A lot of women was mad at you at that event. You sent a lot of people home.
On the last day.
On the last day, that's true.
Per the client's request.
Because that's not what the women was saying.
Well, it's okay.
The women,
at the end of the day.
Can I tell you what the women was saying?
Well,
then you can say, because the women, they said it was a handsome man there. Yeah. That you liked it, the handsome man, and every woman that got near that handsome man to try to get his number or something, you would send him home. I mean, that's what the crowd told me, because I'm just, doing me under you, following your orders. So can you address that? Like, can you unpack that and see? Because that's what.
So you know what? This is the first time that I'm hearing that there was a handsome man there that I happen to like, because that's not true. However, I feel like we had a great shift for the 4 days. On the last days,
a lot of money was made.
Yes, a lot of money was made. A lot of exceptions were being made because a lot of people were traveling from far, like you said. People weren't getting there in time. I was being very lenient. I was, going to the client on their behalf, trying to work out something so that they could still come. I was calling up Instrawork when their account was getting suspended for a no-show because hours had passed.
Right.
I was telling them what to say. I was trying to get.
I saw that.
But on the last day, the event was winding down, and the client needed about 20 people to go home. So they asked me to cut people. And there was a lot of people, when it's slow, a lot of people are not doing anything. They're just hanging around. And there were people that I had to cut.
Right.
It was nothing personal, because I didn't have anything personal with anybody, not even with allegedly whoever it was that I was supposed to.
How do you address situations when people are coming, driving 2, 3 hours, 4 hours to come work for you? And then you have people that actually live in New York City, but you have people traveling. How do you, when a client tell you to cut 20 people, you got 80, you got to cut 20. That's a big chunk of your staff. How do you do it? Like,
so
what's your...
I'm keeping the people who I'm seeing being the most productive.
Okay.
So if I'm seeing you constantly productive, then I know that I don't want to let you go. I don't want to let anybody go.
Right.
I want everybody to get their full money.
Right.
But there's certain people that I have to let go at the end of the night. Or the end of the day, rather, there were people who was just hanging around, and it was obvious.
Right.
They weren't doing anything. And the client, moved me in those directions. Some of the people that the client just cut on their own.
Right.
And if there was anybody in particular, the client probably seen those people around whoever this individual guy who is so far-fetched that I like.
Right.
But I
saw the tension that he was getting. He was getting like a magnet. You had to admit
I know
he
exactly who you're talking about.
Right.
But please believe it was not from me.
Okay. Long as it wasn't from you.
I don't even know how you could even think that it was, because I think that's kind of hilarious.
I kind of seen your eyes going over there. Maybe because all the crowd kept going over there.
Because I kept watching where people were supposed to be on the other side working, but they kept winding up in that direction. If you supposed to be all the way on this side, and you all the way down there,
right? No, true. It was obvious. It was obvious.
Of course, I'm looking down there like, here we go again.
Right.
And I think that the person who was on the other end, I think they were doing a great job. I think everybody did a great job up until the time it was time to cut people. And at the end of the day, it don't matter who. Like, if I have to cut people, it doesn't matter if you feel like you came far. Once the clients say cut you, they're not planning on paying you.
Right.
So it's best that I let you know ahead of time.
Right.
I'm sorry that you're getting cut.
What is true?
And I tried to, push it as long as I could, but when you have to get cut, you have to get cut. And I know they was talking trash about me, because it's always somebody who wants to be the one to run
be the
back
boy,
and tell me.
Because the people, another thing is, people probably be like, why her? You know what I'm saying? When you see somebody that's at the top, it'll make me like, why can't it be me? Because your pay is going to be better. You don't have to, you work, but you don't have to do any kind of hard labor like the people that's under you. You don't have to work as hard.
Right, but you do know.
You get busy.
You was there for that event, and you know anybody who needed to go on their break, I was covering
What is
people
true?
left
What is
and
true?
right.
You did an excellent job.
I'm always covering people.
Right.
So you're right. As a captain, I don't necessarily have to work as hard.
Right.
But I feel like, why would I have people out there, especially in the heat?
Right. And that was a heat. That was hot. It was hot. And then they had us in them tents.
And
it was real.
People was passing out. It
was
everything.
real.
Somebody was having a panic attack.
Right.
It was so much going on.
Right.
But I feel like I try to be as fair as possible. And for most people, if they are true people and they're not trying to be schemers, then they know I'm fair.
Right.
If you a hater, haters.
You say haters.
I give you a lot to hate on, and
no, you do give a lot to hate on.
And I appreciate
you give
that.
You give it like the hate, and you drive a nice car, and then you do well. You do well for yourself.
I work hard for my money, so but it's not that you should hate on me. You should actually see how you could just be down.
Exactly, and that's what it is. How get some tips. Like, how do I become a captain? Well, how do I not have a slow season? Like, what's my best approach when I go into Google, when I go into Facebook, when I go into Convenes? You know these people already. Can you give me some tips? But they just won't do that.
And I tell them your first thing is the way you present yourself.
Right.
Like, that's the first thing that they see when you show up is what you look like.
Right.
So me as a captain, if I look at you and I'm like, why you got some Crocs on? And you know not. I'm not trying to insult you, but you already know from the app what it says how to dress.
Right.
Like, you want to come looking your best, represent yourself.
Right.
You have to represent yourself before anything.
Right.
But when you coming in and you looking a mess, you making it bad for everybody.
Right.
They already looking at us like
that's true.
servant.
That's true.
You
That's
don't
true.
have to have a servant mind.
Right.
Like, I'm never gonna come in there, and I think maybe that's another thing with me. I'm not coming in there like I have a job, I do my job, but I don't have to kiss anybody's butt. I don't have to run behind you like, yes sir.
Yeah. I see some people do that too.
Can I do this? Can I shine your shoe? No, I'm not doing all of that. Like, cause at the end of the day, when we going in the parking lot, we both going to, our cars. We both going to our wherever we live at.
Right.
When I'm not in my black, I could put on whatever I want. I don't have a reason to envy anybody. And I think that's another thing. I'm not going to. I choose to go to these jobs. I don't have to go to work. Like I don't, and I think if people get that in their mind, you don't have to show up.
Right, you don't have to show up.
Attitude when you get there. You don't have to pick that job. You did not have to come.
Right, you didn't have to come. You picked it. You picked it. Right.
You didn't have to do it.
Right.
But since you are here, have a good time while you're here.
Right.
It's not that serious.
It's not that serious.
Not that serious.
It's only 8 to 10 hours. Get the money, get out of there.
You don't never have to come back.
That's the fact. That's what makes the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. Let me ask you about the end game. The end game of it all. Do you sometimes think, what if this doesn't work? Do you have a plan B? Because the economy can change, the prices can change, your price can drop because you're in high demand. What if the company said, we don't want to pay her $40, $50, $60 an hour?
Yeah.
What do you, how do you feel about that?
It's so cool because a lot of companies, after a while, they don't want to pay the high, and they catch your attitude when they ask you to work for their company,
right?
And you don't want to because you love your freedom,
right?
And so I always used to say, I'm here for a good time, not a long time,
right? Mm-hmm.
And I realized each company, I might get to meet the people. I've been to managers' houses and they invite me to the places, and I have a good time, but I'm here for a good time and not for a long time.
Right.
And so if this independent contractor thing doesn't work out, I'm blessed to be able to go back to a full-time position if that's what I chose. If that's what I choose to do. And then because of the opportunities that I developed while working this independent lifestyle, I've developed so many different skills that I can do so many different things.
What is true?
I can do things that I never thought that I could do.
What is true?
But the main thing is I love people. I love different environments. I love meeting people and doing new things. There's always going to be an opportunity. Plus, God's got me. I'm one of His favorites.
That's dope. That's dope right there. And because I wonder about that. Like, what would be the end game? Because I was in there. I said, I seen the hate. Sometimes you see me shaking out, and I'm just being me and the personality. I know how to politic. So I get right with the right people and I position myself. Right. And sometimes people don't like that.
I know.
They don't
recently telling me that. They was like, one of your spots, they was like, they complaining that Thomas, he don't be doing no work. And I was like, now I could tell you a lot of things about Thomas. He might be a liar. And he might be a schemer.
That's me.
He's definitely a hard worker.
That's a fact.
I could never say that I've been on an event with you that you're not working.
Right.
So the whole thing about he don't be doing nothing, he's just standing there, I'm not really believing that.
Right.
Now, he might make it look easy.
Right.
He probably is politicking.
Right.
But I don't believe that you could say that he's not a hard worker.
Right.
So
but it's true.
At least your reputation speaks for itself.
Right.
So somebody else can't come in my ear and say, "Oh, Thomas don't do no work."
Right. And I thank you for that.
I go to a lot of events. I have never witnessed him not doing any work.
Right.
And he has the gift for gab, so I know. Right. I remember you would show up for an event server and then decide to stay and wash dishes because you're gonna get your money.
Right. I'm gonna go over to the top.
I think the whole thing about being a contract worker is the hustle.
Right.
It's so exciting.
Right.
It's exciting.
I try to do the top number.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't think that people know that you have the opportunity. When that hustle is there, they just burn out. They say, I see them, they be like, oh, they made $1,500. That's enough for them. Then you see somebody make $2,000, then you make $2,500. Their hustle is different. You know what I'm saying? Somebody make $3,000. Their hustle is different. That person just burned out, or they just had enough. Like $1,500 is satisfying for some people. You know what I'm saying? Then they might feel like, oh, why he's staying back? Who gave him permission to stay back? And that's just how it is. I just thought my end game is say, well, my end game is I'll just open up my own company.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know how things can shift. You could be at some place. You could be at all of these great companies, BlackRock, Google, Facebook, and somebody, you're chilling there. I've seen people at Bank of America doing great, $2,000 a week, easy, every week. And they said, we don't want to pay you that no more.
Right.
Do you want to work for the company? Come work for the company, get $25 an hour, or we're not going to be paying you this $50, $60. We don't. What the hell? We got to pay you $50, $60 an hour for?
Attitudes, you know why? Because you have the freedom to say yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've seen clients who we have a good relationship for years, but because they keep trying to get you to work for them, and you keep saying no, but you keep showing up every time the event is going on, they actually catch your attitude.
They definitely got. I saw it plenty of times, and then block you, and then drop your rating.
I ain't been blocked, but here I do know the shade from clients, and they catch your attitude. But guess what? When they need somebody good, they still gonna call me.
That's a fact.
So you can get who you want, but you get who. Actually, a client told me that. Big Daddy, he was like, the people get what they pay for. So you can get what you want, and you get what you pay for.
Right.
So, you can get somebody cheaper. You can go to a different place and get somebody cheaper.
Right.
But you're going to get that.
That's what you're going to get cheap. I thought my end game play, I said, wow, why don't I just start my own?
Yeah,
I said, because sometimes you're looking at people and they doing their thing and you don't agree with what they doing. Just like I wrote in my book, I said, if you don't like what your boss doing, just do your own. Right. So I said, why don't I start my own? I started a better staffing solution and I'll just do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? I'll just contract, and just like they going to get the contract, I'll go get the contract. I might not have the biggest contracts as theirs, but at least I'm in the loop and I'll have something to fall back on.
Well, somebody said that you can't do a better solution, can't do about 200 or more.
They say and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's been the word in our ecosystem, that a better staffing solution can't do the 300, 400 people events. The reason why we don't do those grand events on our own is because I like to send the all-stars out. With a database of 1,500 people, I can pick and choose who I want. Okay, granted, if an event is 300 people, the people are ordering 60, 70 individuals. I'd rather send 20 great people than 60 anybody's. You see what I'm saying? So we can handle it, of course. There's no problem in handling the 300, 400 people event, but we rather handpick who we want to go. Every person I pick is an all-star. So when we go to these events, every time there's all-stars there. People that don't catch attitudes, that don't need 90 smokes breaks, that don't go on a break and come back and smell like marijuana and say, oh, it's legal. You know what I'm saying? Right. People that don't catch shade when a customer spills something twice and you got to pick it up twice. That's not the people I'm sending. I'm sending all-stars every single time. You order a better staffing solution, you better believe all-stars are coming.
Well, can you afford the all-stars, though?
Of course I would afford the all-stars, because what I do is with the client has to pay, just like what you said before. You're going to get what you pay for.
You're right.
You're going to get what you pay for.
Right.
And then sometimes we take breaks. Sometimes we say, hey, I like this event, or we want this client just under our one sheet to be able to put them on our website to say they are a client. We will take a break. But most of the time I tell the clients, who you want, then call Jitjatjo. Or call these other little companies that when they come, they clothes is wrinkled and they smelling like yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, invest in yourself. If you're going to be doing this independent contract thing within this hospitality thing, and you're doing these great weddings, and you're doing these bar mitzvahs, and you're doing this corporate catering, you better invest in yourself. They're paying you. Get some good cologne. Yeah. Get some clothes. Wear your tie.
That's
look
where
good.
A lot of the hates come from also, because people feel like you don't have to do all of that. When you show up not wrinkled and you're pressed and you got your hair fixed and your face is on, then people want to be a hater because they want to just show up any kind of way. And now you didn't raise the bar
and they say you're doing too much.
Come up and, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, she doing too much. Oh, she doing too much.
So you do less.
Yes, you do less, and I'll get paid more. Period.
Exactly, basically,
and that's where it's at.
That's
where it's at.
But okay, so tell me more about a better staffing company. Is it? I was told it was a staffing company of color.
We did an event, and me and you clashed on this event.
Yeah,
we clashed.
Let's talk about it.
Because I wanted to bring you in as a captain. It was my first black wedding. We know we never hardly gets black weddings. For some reason, we don't get them. We do a lot of Caucasian weddings, Jewish wedding, whatever. Okay, granted. I got the deal. Shout out to Miss Sharon Bond. She got me a deal, brought us in to do a black wedding in Harlem. Man, I was so proud. Again, special thanks to Miss Sharon Bond. And I brought you in. First person I thought was you. I brought you in to do this black wedding. We was going to staff this wedding and make it look amazing. But I wanted to sprinkle a little flavor in there. I had a Russian girl, and I wanted to bring some Latinos in. Because I thought that, okay, in Harlem, they have people, and she did, Sharon Barnes runs Dykeman basketball.
Right.
They might have some people that don't speak English, so let's have at least someone that's Latino to represent that part of the culture. And the Russian girl always gives me business, so I thought, let's bring her in because she always sends me contracts. And my team, and you was the leader of this, y'all flipped on me and y'all boycotted.
And when you say y'all, you talking about me and my partner Ivy.
Yeah, I'm talking about both of you guys.
You wanted us to come in. You sold us like, okay, this is gonna be a all black wedding, and my staff is a black staff, and I have and it wasn't even like me and Ivy could have took care of it with you alone.
What is true?
But then you wanted to continue, like you said, to add more people, and no offense to anybody else, but to me, I feel like when you have the Latino kitchens and they run, I didn't know that
this is
hospitality
true. This is true.
Is really run by Latinos. Shout out to y'all because y'all
Heavy.
doing your thing.
Heavy. Y'all guys are heavy.
And it was a good secret until contract workers came up in there and like, they are running it. Y'all got it on lock. However, being that they already had it on lock, we both felt very offended that you brought it to us as an all black event. You're an all black staffing company, but you must have the Russian and the Latino to come in, which would have broke down the money,
right?
Because that was the main concern. You're adding more people on. We did not feel that those people were on our level with adequate working, and it was gonna fall on us to do. And we came to you and we was like, and we was willing. It was a good money weekend for us to pick up our own gigs, and we said we will do it for you for less than we would get if we would have picked the gig.
What is true? Y'all take a pay cut.
We gave you what we expected, and you pretty much told us, well, you don't need to have us because you're gonna keep your Latin and your Russian. And that was like a slap in our face, to be honest, because like I said, we had your back. You didn't have our back.
I did have you back. I did have you guys back, and I want y'all to come and run the show. I said, this is your show, Zalima. I said, Moni, this is your show. I want you to come in there and you run this show. But I needed the flavor because what if it was someone there that didn't speak English? And they was trying to order their food, and then we bring chicken and we drink fish.
We figure it out on the regular. We're professionals. This is what we do on the regular.
Right.
So we know how to handle situations.
Right.
However, I felt like that it was very disrespectful. Like I said, I told you then, I'll tell you now. It was disrespectful because you ain't never seen no Latinos or Russian people say, let them take their own people out to bring somebody of color in.
Right. That is true.
So I just felt like you need to get that together. Like,
I did also feel
present it in a different way. Don't feed us a dream and then come back with something else.
I understand that too. I did feel, and I explained I said the Russian girl always sends me contracts, so I felt like this is my way of reciprocating it, to give it back to her. Say, hey, thank you for what you did for me all year. I got an event that's a great event. Hey, I'm throw you a bone. You come to my event. So out of all of us, it was just going to be two that wasn't of the ethnicity. But my team didn't see it that way.
We felt like the work was going to fall on us, and we would have to split our money, and we let you know, but you made your choice.
And we're sure, and I respected you guys because you gave me a heads up.
Yeah.
I was able to make the adjustments. I missed you guys there because I really needed you guys there. It worked out fine. Another shout out to Sharon Bond and her daughter Jill, and oh man, just to have that opportunity, because that's what a better staffing solution is. We're trying to bring that culture of service to our community. I think we always service the other community, but I think that we should be in position when our people or other people have a wedding that they can see this beautiful service. If someone has a beautiful baby shower, not the ones that's in like community centers and stuff like that, I don't think you can afford our budget. But when you having a beautiful, nice birthday bash, you bring in a better staffing solution to staff it, to make it look VIP. You know what I'm saying? A baby shower that is going to be a grand baby shower. You bring us in to staff it, to make everyone feel special. Because when we do this, I do it for real. When I go into these places, I serve. That's my job, to serve. These people are paying me good money to come in there to grant a service. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm the only one in New York City that can go out for a week and be a dishwasher and do over $2,000. I was in the Wall Street Journal for this thing. I come in there and I serve, right? And that's how I develop a team. So my team of a better staffing solution, we go into places and we serve. We want everybody to go out there feeling like the president of United States of America. When you walk away from our events, you be like, whoa, those people they took care of us.
And that's good. But maybe you're just going to have to, and I'm happy that your event, first of all, let me say, I'm happy that your event went well. And I'm happy that you are getting the opportunities to do your event.
Right.
But maybe what you present as it being and I'm not sure if you're still doing this, but a better staffing agency, maybe it was just for the all-black wedding, that it was for that, you need a black team. Maybe your agency is not an agency that is.
It's not, because with a pool of 1,500 people, it's all mixed up in there. It's all and I pick and choose depending on the event.
And that's good.
You know what I'm saying? If I know every corporate chef in New York. There is in a high-rise building, an RMR, any building you pick, RA, any organization you pick, any grand company that's doing billions of dollars, I know that corporate chef. I know his behavior patterns. So I know who to send. I know if Chef Samuel, I know his behavior, so I know who to send. He might like Latins. So I can't have an all-black army, because I gotta have someone to know how to infiltrate.
Right, but this was an all-black wedding.
What is true?
Was doing, but
that
you
is true.
got rid of your 2 black staff people.
But we still landed. We still had about 8 blacks there. Just that we just didn't go with the leaders of the leaders of the party. So which you two would have been the best. Let's not that get there confused. Yeah, but it ended out well with the people that did come.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was a good.
Which brings me to my next question about the incident that happened at the Manhattan Center when a bartender swung on you.
Well, it's true. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you brought this up, because it needs to be addressed.
Right.
It was a big event, and this is another room about all the 400 people event. I was doing a contract though with a great woman, a great company, Evelyn's Kitchen, amazing, great company. I was on a great run with them.
Okay.
They asked me, can I run along 45 days? Remember, there's a net 30 though. So every time I do an event, she's paying me 30 days later.
Okay.
I'm on a great event with her. We're running crazy. We got NBA. We got the WNBA. We with the Ford Foundation. We all over. I get into a situation, because remember, I'm paying every night. Remember, independent contractors, I gotta pay them every night. So I'm burning through capital. This lady is ordering 5 people 10 hours. She's on 10 people 12 hours. I'm burning through capital, but she's not paying me until 30 days later, because it's net 30.
Okay.
I'm burning out of capital. We get to the Manhattan Center event. I'm low on funds. I call a friend of mine, thinking he was a friend. I got a check come from Google on Friday, but this is on a Wednesday. I called a friend of mine. I said, I'm running out of capital. I need 800 more. I can get it back to you on Friday. You can keep the profit. Or I can tell this lady I cannot handle the bartenders. I can handle the vent servers. I can handle the buses, the waiters. But I cannot handle the bartenders. He said, nah, brother. Get the bartenders in there. I'll take care of them. I said, you sure? He said, brother, get the bartenders in there. I'll take care of the bartenders. I said, you can keep the profit. It will be $150 profit. We just got to pay the bartenders. On Friday, you can keep the profit. I got a check coming from Google. He said, no problem. I called the bartenders in. And one was a good friend of mine. Brittany, I appreciate you from the heart. Appreciate you. She came in. She said, you sure? I said, come on in. She said, well, I got to get a babysitter and I'm going to have to pay for parking because this is a last minute thing. I said, no problem. I got you at the end of the night. I got you at her bitch. I was going to pay her $300. That was all she was asking for. She put her car in the parking garage right there. It was $50 to park there that night. She had a babysitter. I called my friend in the middle of the thing. I said, yo, bro, you ready? Zealot. He was like, I'm giving my son a bath. I got you. At the end of the event, I started to call him. He never answered. I paid everybody else, but the bartenders. We got outside. It was freezing cold. I did not have her capital. I did not have the other bartender's capital. Everybody else was paid. She could not get her car out of that garage. She had a babysitter. And I'm calling, and then I said, oh my God. And she said, you calling on God, motherfucker? Black out. And my glasses slid all in the street on 34th Street. And I ran to get my glasses. She thought I was running from her. She's chasing me. The yellow cab crushes my glasses. And she's on top of me. Mom, get me my motherfucker. You mother. I'm like, tell that bitch. And I'm like, she telling me, go get that Jew lady. Get her to get the money. I'm like, please. Please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's cold. I ain't got my glasses on. I'm looking crazy.
Only you.
But we worked it out.
She did the right thing.
We worked it out.
She did the right thing.
But you friend. He supposed to have been a friend.
It was your fault.
It was my fault.
Because you shouldn't have got it if you don't have the money to pay. Like, you cannot rely on somebody else. It's your responsibility. She didn't book a contract with your friend nor the lady, the client. She booked it with you. So it was your responsibility to have that money. Because please believe, if it was me and Ivy,
y'all would have gave me a pass. Y'all would have gave me a pass. Y'all would have said, "I'll give it to me on Friday."
Ivy would have been getting you right
that's
here.
a try.
So I'm caught up, and I would have.
But Ivy, y'all would have had money.
The Queens would have been on you like, come on now.
Y'all would have had money. And then I was that hurt it. I think some people would have said like the other bars, and they said, "Yo, just give it to us on Friday." You know what I'm saying? But I understand her situation. She had to get a car at the garage, and she had a babysitter. She told me. She told me
what it was.
She told me
I didn't work the whole time, and then you gonna tell me at the end of the night you don't got my money?
But it's true.
Give me my money.
That's a fact. That's why these businesses, you got to be able. They think this is an easy. No, this is not easy. This is not easy because it's net 30. These people are paying you, running up a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 tab on me, and they're not paying me the 30, 45 days later, and I'm coming out of pocket, and I'm trying to juggle with life. You know what I'm saying? So I bit off more than I can chew, and I apologize. Now we in great standard, but we can't count on friends. And then this guy, he's on Instagram looking like $10 million. Yeah. He's talking about real estate. He's talking about stocks.
What was his reason that he didn't give you the money?
He didn't. He just never answered no more. And then I talked to him about 3 months later. He acted like it never happened. I was like, man, you don't know. You got my glasses, bro. My glasses was $800. But, it is what it is. We learned a great, valuable situation. I learned that people just be fronting sometime and they don't have it and they act like they have it. Because maybe he didn't have it. Maybe he just was too ashamed to say I don't have it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that happened, and and now we just continue to grow. Right. We continue to dominate. We can continue our rock and roll. But I ask you the final two questions, wrapping up. What if this doesn't work? Do you think about your plan B? Like, what if it doesn't work? Do you think about that? Like, what if Trump and Elon come and say, why is these people making so much money, and just start to cut and like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like there's always going to be room for hospitality workers, because there's always going to be people who want to go out and have a good time. There's always going to be people who need to go out and drink. There's always going to be people who need to go eat. And there's always going to be people who want somebody to serve them, you know? But if it doesn't work out, I know the sky is the limit. There's always going to be opportunities for me to do something else. I always think about, well, even when I was getting into this, when I decided to leave my full-time job and pursue this full-time, and I said, what if it doesn't work? But what if it does?
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the other side of it. But what if it does?
What if it does work?
You know? And like I said, I know that God's got my back. So there's always going to be an opportunity that falls into place for me. And I'm having a good time. I like, when I think about, to be honest, when I think about going to a regular full-time job, it gives me anxiety. 'Cause I don't want to be trapped anymore.
Right.
Like when I used to be at work, and that's how I was picking up mad gigs while I was at my regular job. And that's when we could just pass them off to
other people, right.
And I was looking at everybody. I was like, dang, they have the freedom. Some people, you're right, they just live
for the minimum, just enough.
And but they're happy, you know.
They're happy.
And I know my lifestyle. I like nice things. I like nice things.
Right.
And so if I'm a hustle hard. And I'm glad that I have a good cushion to fall back on. But
your car note might be a little high.
You said my car note?
In your condo payment, you don't.
Oh yeah, all of it is very high. Everything is very high.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm thankful that I haven't had to like get the hard impact of being stuck. So and I remember January came in, and most people always say January and February are
slow season.
much, but you was like, it's gonna be a good season. You're gonna be platinum.
Right.
And I was like, all right, if he said, I'm just gonna go with it.
Right.
And I believed it halfway, but sure enough, January and February, I was fine. And I was platinum for both months. Where other people, unfortunately, might be struggling, God has blessed me, and I'm doing pretty good.
That's beautiful.
So I have strong faith. When all else fails, make sure you have faith. A lot of stuff, I pray, God's got me.
Right.
And like some people, they rely on other vices. I rely on God.
That's dope.
Heavy.
That's dope.
So God has never failed me.
And God is always good all the time.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, closing out, because I know you're a busy lady. I know you got to get back across that bridge. I appreciate you for coming out. But let me ask you these three questions, all wrapped in one. If you, dead or alive, if you had to go to dinner with somebody and you had to go to party with somebody on a Friday night and you had to go to Sunday brunch with another person, who would those people be, dead or alive? Give me Monday night dinner. Nice, beautiful ambience, and you just having a beautiful conversation. Who would that person be?
If I had to have dinner, if I was able to have dinner on a Monday night, I would have dinner with my mom.
Is she still with us?
No, my mom passed. That's how I wound up getting with Instrawork. I would love to have dinner with my mother. I would be able to tell my mother all of my new experiences.
Wow.
That I have been able to go places and do things that I didn't think that I would go to, and do things. The people that I've met, the opportunities that I've had. I would love to just talk to my mom and just let her know that I'm okay, I'm doing good.
Wow.
I'm doing it.
Wow.
I'm just like, sometimes I drive in my car and I'm going out maybe to Jersey or Connecticut or wherever for an event, and I think about it and I be like, because I pretty much was staying in Long Island. The further I would go to is Manhattan, go see some shows or whatever, but I worked in Long Island, shopped in Long Island, and in Long Island.
Right.
So I would be able to tell my mom, like, Mommy, look, I'm doing it.
Right, that's dope.
And I'm
that's beautiful.
good.
That's beautiful.
You know? If I had...
a party on Friday night.
Oh, a party on Friday.
Who would that be?
Friday partying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who I would party with because
I'll pick Prince.
you know, I love me some Prince too. I don't, but you know,
I would say how
it's
it all
time to
happened.
Huh?
I would ask him how it all happened. Like what happened? What was the sparrow? What went wrong?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to, I'll get back to Friday. But if I had to,
The brunch on Sunday. Who would you talk
Sunday,
to?
I would go to brunch with my grandmother, my big mom, who also passed. And I'll just let her know that
Right.
I'm doing exactly.
Just saying what you wanted.
My grandmother told me, she was like, "Live your life. You got one life to live. Live your life." And my bit mom was a champion. She was doing her thing anytime. It didn't matter. My grandmother lived till she was 96.
Wow.
My other grandmother to 97. They both actually passed 2 weeks apart from each other.
It's a lot on
Like,
you.
yeah, everything kind of took a turn. Like 2019 was a hard year for me.
Right.
And then 2020, I really prayed my heart. Like, if I could make it to 2020, I would be okay. And that's when the pandemic came. But my mind was okay because I already prayed to God. If I could make it to 2020, I'll be okay.
Right.
And I wound up going into 2020. Everything happened. My aunt died. My father's baby sister. My father died when I was 12. But his baby sister, his last sister, passed. And then my mom wound up going into the hospital for one little thing for diverticulitis, which she was supposed to come home. And the doctor, like, the hospital started shutting down because of COVID.
Wow.
And they was like, they just wanted to keep her overnight and that she would be able to come home. They would send her home in the morning. And during the night, I got a call about 12:30, and it was like she wasn't breathing, so they had to incubate her. And because my mother already had it, restricted lungs because of the incubation. It was hard for them to take out the tubing with her to be able to breathe on her own. And they wound up putting her in a nursing home that was supposed to be a rehabilitation.
Right.
And they let the tube come out. And so my mother wound up getting brain damage. But she wound up being in the hospital for 2 years. But not being able to communicate with us. And because of COVID, we couldn't go up there the way we were supposed to. And things really just got out of hand. And then my mom's wound up passing. So the whole time for me coming into just gig work and everything, it was like such a dark time for me. And really, this just opened up like a new chapter of my life.
Wow.
Like, I got to meet people, new people, like good people, like who like family to me.
Right. Well, it's true. I know what you mean.
I wound up having, like I said, opportunities and going places that I never dreamed of going. So it really, really changed me. It helped me a lot. Like, I came into the game, I was so broken, people didn't know.
Right.
I kept a smile on my face, and I made sure that I showed up and I looked good.
Every time I saw you, you looked
right.
good.
But I was going through.
Do it.
Like, I had a situation at one of the country clubs where I actually had a major anxiety attack. But thank God I had good people around me. I had my friend Melissa was there who prayed over me. Chemo was there. He prayed over me.
Right.
Like, people, Jackson.
I know Jackson. Jackson, good people.
They held me down. Like, me and Ivy, we met at a retirement home and doing a gig, and me and her, we're at all the country clubs, businesses, everywhere. I speak to Ivy every day. She holds me down. Like, my good sis is Shivy. Like, me and Shivy is goofy. We have fun. There's so many people who really have been such an inspiration to me, and I appreciate each and every one of them. I give a shout out to Cece, who really like opened up the doors.
Right,
who got
Cece's
me
a good guy.
Gigs back to back, but we
got him lined up too.
Right, we was putting him on the app. He's like the king. Like, if I'm the queen, he's definitely the king of this because I watched him also and how he interact with the clients.
Yeah, he's good at that.
So good, and even Voice might be one of the hated people, but Voice held me
Voice
down.
Voice held me down too. He got me some money. Shout out to Voice, baby boy. I don't know where you at, but shout out to you. You got me. You got me in some powerful positions, man.
He held me down. There's people who open up the doors, and I can't, not give them shout outs. And then in return, I was able to open up doors for other people and put them on and just show them how to get this money. Right. And just let them know it's not that serious. If you don't want to come back, you don't have to go back. Work like you don't need the money, but hustle like,
right. Hustle no tomorrow. Right.
Hustle like there ain't no tomorrow. But really work like you don't need it. Because at the end of the day, you got this. And God got you.
Got you. That's deep. Do you want to hit your Friday before we close out? You got 1 minute left.
My Friday?
Your Friday. Who would you party with on Friday?
Oh,
you got 1 minute left.
I would party with God. Because,
But he going to be playing gospel. He going to be playing Warren Sapp, Marvin Sapp. No telling me, right?
Don't you know it? Like the joy that people have in their heart, God gives it to them. So when people come out with all different kind of music, that's joy. They coming from joy. Some people come from their good music comes from hurt, but their talent comes from God. So that's a never ending party. You could party
forever. That's
real. Them parties don't stop. And then you see everybody. Man, it'll be lit.
Every night it'll be lit. Party with God would definitely be lit. I appreciate you coming out, Queen. I appreciate the conversation, having a better conversation with me. I really, really appreciate traveling all the way and putting your Saturday to a side. Right. I really, really appreciate it.
And let's getting through the bumps in the road.
That's a fact.
You be trying me. I'm like, I can't mess with this
you stay on me. You stay on me. You always think I'm scheming on something.
And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I know you're going to go far because you got this.
Thank you very much. You always tell me that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, sis. I really do. To the Queen, we gone. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Out.
Thank you.